This represents the groves of the men of the oak.
Yeah, the men of the groves.
Or the druids.
Yeah.
Hey, this is it right here. This is one of them.
Yeah.
Now, okay, you Hebrew brothers, what does that say up there? What does that say up there, and what does it mean?
Awarium, which is light.
Thank you, brother.
Yep.
Thank you, brother.
Light.
Urim and the Thurim. That's what it means. Awarium wa thum yum. All right.
So light and truth.
Light and perfection.
Light and perfection.
Light and perfection. Yep.
Oh, the groves. Brother thought the groves.
Yeah, I took that.
Those are the groves.
Yo, fast shot.
Fast shot. Behind on the shield of Rothschild.
Yep.
The Promethean torch. Right?
Yep.
I forgot we got the stuff. Forgot what that means.
Look at that. There's another fast shot. Look.
Fast shot. Yeah, another fast shot right here. They got the two guns. I forgot what this represents.
We can get in if we go around the other side. But look at that. You can clearly see that that's a fast shot.
And here's the eagle.
Yeah, the eagle right here.
Yep. With the shield. Rothschild showing you Rothschild is behind the whole, we'll show you the Rothschilds of Esau.
That's right.
Because the scriptures talk about the eagle, which Esau represents the eagle.
Look at that. What's this?
It's obelisk.
Yeah, that represents the pineal gland.
Yeah, they have them all over, like the pine cones.
Yep. Pine cone. Yep. Which they call the third eye.
Yep.
Which that's like a Maltese cross with the Promethean torch.
What were you looking at? Point out to me.
Right here. If that's what that represents. Does that somewhat represent like a Maltese cross?
Yep.
So it looks like the Promethean torch shooting from the...
That's another pine. That's another pine cone.
Yeah, that's another pine cone.
That's another pine cone.
What does it say, Mom? Oh, memorial.
You gotta get back into all that. We used to be sharp on this stuff. We gotta get back into it.
So shalom, we're here at Yale University, and basically what we're doing here is, we're just filming the grounds and filming this old building, and there's a lot of symbology all throughout, the campus, which we understand it goes back, to the ancient secret societies, and there's a lot of...
Yeah, by the way, this is going to be entitled Secret Societies of Yale.
Secret Societies of Yale. Because, for years we've been taught that, they only had the skull and bones here. But through research Elder Tahar has done...
You got the paperwork right there where you have a list of all the societies.
Books.
Yep.
Books also, which
Right, we got... there's a...
Which don't worry about the books, just deal with this here.
Okay, we got the skull and bones. This is from Wikipedia. It says Skull and Bones is an undergraduate senior...
No, go to all the list of societies.
Okay.
One of those...
It says collegiate secret societies in North America. There are many collegiate secret societies in North America. They vary greatly in their levels of secrecy and independence from their universities. As a term is used in this article, a secret society is a collegiate society where significant effort is made to keep affairs, membership rolls, signs of recognition, initiation, or other aspects secret from the public. Some collegiate secret societies are referred to as class societies, which restrict membership to one class year. Most class societies are restricted to the senior class and are therefore also called senior societies on many campuses. And then in the content, it goes into the College of William and Mary, Georgetown University, Cornell University, Dartmouth College. It's giving you a list of all the different colleges where these societies are located. Categorization. There is no strict rule on the categorization of secret societies. Secret societies can have ceremonial initiations, secret signs of recognition, gestures, handshakes, passwords, formal secrets, the true name of the society, a motto, or a secret history. And that's why you never really hear too much about it. You have a movie that came out, I believe it was back in the 50s or 60s, called The Brotherhood of the Bell. And in that,
That was with
the 70s.
who was that? Henry Ford or Glenn Ford? I believe his name was Glenn Ford. Yeah.
Right. And in that movie there, they pretty much show you what happens in these secret societies and how you're taken care of. And you go to college, you get into these secret societies, you learn about the whole workings, the behind the scenes workings of how these devils operate in the world, and then what happens is they'll find you here, they'll initiate you here, then they'll take you and they'll put you in certain positions of wealth and prominence. And you'll get the wealth and prominence based off of who you know and what secret society you were a part of.
Yeah, the connections.
So the agreement is that, look, once you set up in this spot, you're not supposed to speak about it, because once you speak about it, that's when they demonize you. If you speak about it, they demonize you.
We're at Yale University, and I found out recently. I thought there was only one secret society, that was the Skull and Bones, which we're going to look at in another couple of minutes. But I found out that there's many secret societies right here in Yale University. So you found a list, because we have a list right here. All right, go ahead and just read that quick.
Yale University, it says, the term secret society at Yale University encompasses organizations with many shared but not identical characteristics. The oldest surviving undergraduate secret society at Yale paralleled various 19th century fraternal organizations. In the traditional Yale system, societies were organized by class year. There were 2, then 3 senior societies, 3 junior societies, 2 sophomore societies, and 2 freshman societies. All the societies were independent. All had their own traditions, and each class year pair or trio shared common traits appropriate to their class year. The freshman societies were rambunctious and owned little real property. The sophomore and junior ones were progressively more elaborate. The sophomore ones regularly maintained live theater in their halls, and the senior ones were extremely small and elite and with quite expensive property and celebrations. Each of the secret societies had a link to a society in the class year before it and after it. That is, members of one freshman society would all get elected to the same sophomore society year after year, and so on. So that there were 2 or 3 parallel sets of linked societies from time to time. There would be a coup, and then one society would break the pattern, forcing the other society to likewise change election strategies. Or cause the creation of a new society, Delta Kappa Epsilon. A junior society was created in reaction to a botched election process.
Now, Delta Kappa X, read that again, Epsilon, which are Greek characters, which goes back to the ancient Greek society. So, when you watch our shows, we speak about the United States or America being Rome all over again, where their traditions go back to the ancient Romans, the pagan Romans, and the Greeks, which their concept of God was Zeus, which was a made-up god, all right, which goes back to Greek mythology. So they're telling you that, we just go to college just to learn and make it in society, and anybody can make it. That's BS, man. Because if you're chosen to go to a prestigious university in the U.S., such as Yale, okay, you're on one level. And then as you grow up, whether your father was a prominent business owner or something like that, CEO of a major corporation, and you're pretty smart, they would select you to be one of the members of one of these secret societies. And no matter what you did, you were set for life. Let's look at Baby Bush. Baby Bush graduated from Yale, one of the most prestigious universities, and he can't even speak a whole sentence. This dude this guy's about as dumb as a rutabaga, man. But this guy's set for life. They just dedicated a library to this clown, man. And they dealt with the recent history with the war, and they lied about that whole shit, man. But the average so-called American and the average person on the planet, man, they don't know what the hell's going on. That's why you have the media. And all these, one of the societies that I was doing some research, I didn't get a chance to get it, because there's so much research. And you brothers in GMS, man, you want to be like the elders, right? Well, guess what? I'm trying to be like Ariah, because I picked this up from Ariah. There's wherever you live, whether it be Chicago, Texas, there's all kind of historical places that you can go to, man.
Yep.
There's all. It ain't all about getting with some damn woman, man. Once you come into this truth, you're a step above, man. I'm not telling you not to deal with no woman.
This becomes.
But when you read about Paul, Paul didn't have no woman, man.
Yep.
All
this
right.
becomes your woman.
Yep. And he's basically said in 1 Corinthians, the 7th chapter, he would like for all of y'all to be like him.
Right.
And like I said, I'm gonna say it again, so you don't get the wrong idea. You can have a woman, man. We ain't faggots and shit, you know. But when you get into this truth becomes your woman. When you read about Solomon, now Solomon, what did he do? Did he pray for wisdom? Nope, he had a dream. See, that's another thing that people are not up on, is the fact that he had a dream that he prayed for wisdom. He never prayed for wisdom. So the Most High put it in his spirit to have that dream and to ask in that dream for wisdom. And the Lord spoke to him in a dream, which that was nothing but a big vision. And he said, since you asked for wisdom, I'm going to give you riches, I'm going to give you power, I'm going to sit you on the throne, you're going to remain on the throne, you're going to be one of the greatest kings on the planet Earth. All right? Now, coming back to these secret societies, where did they get the concept of secret societies? They got it from us. The concept of the university, the concept of a college is written in the Bible. It's if anybody knows where it is, you can bring it on out. And it's a place. Yeah. And basically, the concept of a college or a university means a place to gather to study the scriptures, man.
Right.
Have to learn about mathematics and science and all that. House of Scrolls.
College means higher learning, right?
Higher learning, exactly. University means turned into one. Universal. Then you got these people that graduate these different universities, and they don't even know who they are.
Right.
You got blacks that want their children to go to the most prestigious universities. They graduate, they go to graduate school, they become professors. Ask them one simple question: what's your nationality? Oh, I'm African American. You know? Go ahead, brother.
2 Kings chapter 22 and 14. So Hilkiah the priest and Ahikam and Akbor and Shaphan and Asahiah went unto Huldah the prophetess, the wife of Shallum, the son of Tikvah, the son of Harhas, keeper of the wardrobe. Now she dwelt in Jerusalem in the college, and they communed with her.
So that's where the word college comes from. That's where the whole concept of schools of higher learning. But the schools of higher learning was set up for the advanced study of the scriptures. So these devils are not doing that, man. You know? Yep. Now he's going to mention about these different societies. There's about a good 20 of them on that list. At the top of the list is Skull and Bones. Now, if you watch videos on conspiracy theories on YouTube or whatever, watch Alex Jones and give me some other conspiratorial guys.
Well, these guys are old school
movie that
guys.
came out, they even came out with movies.
Yeah.
One movie was called The Skull. Another one was called, a very good movie was called The Good Shepherd, which we spoke about last night.
Yeah, the Good Shepherd.
Matt
All
Damon.
right? There was another one, there was a couple of them.
There was a few.
So they're showing you in
Conspiracy theory.
the entertainment media, in the entertainment world, they're showing you that there's secret societies in these colleges. But when you see it, oh, that's just a made-up thing. It's just made up, and that's what they tell these stupid asses, man. And it's said among the illuminated ones that when you do something, you got to show the public that you're going to do it before you do it.
Right, like Meet the Press, with when they asked George Bush and
And
John Kerry.
speak on that, brother.
Well, what's the guy's name that died from Meet the Press?
Yeah, he's from out of Boston.
Tim something?
Tim something, I forget his name, but y'all can look it up. But basically, he asked both of them, he said, Skull and Bones, 322, and both of them said, it's so secret we can't talk about it. And they did a little demonic laugh, you know, and then just moved on to the next topic. But really, they were letting
That's what they do. It's a term called plausible deniability.
Right.
Whenever you put into a position where you have to divulge a secret, you have to learn how to divert. It's a form of, it's an art of speaking.
And it's easy because you got these stupid Americans, you know.
Yep. You know, and they,
you know.
Yep. You know, and they'll have you change the subject. You know, which they'll never answer it. You know, they'll never deny it or they'll never accept it.
Which by the way, Bush, this guy.
Kerry and Bush.
Huh?
Kerry? John Kerry?
Kerry and Bush.
John.
But the guy that interviewed him, and he died. You'll see it on the screen. Because basically what we're gonna do, you're gonna do your version and so forth.
Grab it,
Yep. But what was I saying? I forget the guy's name, but anyway, he interviewed both of them.
I remember.
And he said, Skull and Bones.
Tim Russell.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Tim Russell. Now,
NBC?
That was NBC.
Yeah.
Now, he said, what about the secret society?
Yeah.
You guys are cousins, right?
Yeah.
And it was a well-known fact that they were cousins. What's the chances of two guys being cousins running against each other and both being part of the Skull and Bones? So what did Tim Russell ask both of them? Hey, what about the Skull and Bone thing?
Right. 322.
322? Does anything come to mind?
Yeah, Secret Society.
Secret Society? And what Bush said was, you laughed.
So secret, it can't.
He said it's so secret I can't even talk about it.
See that? It's all
Okay, and then there was another interview with John Kerry, and he said the same exact thing. He said, "Yeah, Secret Society, so secret I can't talk about it."
They're all graduates of it, man.
And all graduates, you know.
That plausible deniability you're talking about, that's also a form of magic because they putting that in
Speak
your
loud.
face.
Speak loud.
That's also a form of magic because what the magicians do is they have to put it in your face.
Kind they show you and take it away.
Yeah, like sleight of hand. So sleight of hand, you know.
Yep.
Fantastic. That's a word I forgot. Fantastic. Something which goes back to magic, you know? Fantasia. Yeah. Like Fantasia. Jordan Maxwell and them guys is going into that. That's all set up. Like that whole Walt Disney shit. With Fantasia, they made a movie. They had Mickey Mouse, but he was a magician. That was all pushing out that thing through the media waves, man. Under the CFR, which that all goes back to like they have these wars, the theater of war, or the all these things are like the movie Wag the Dog with Robert De Niro and this guy Dustin Hoffman, showing you this whole thing. It's all a stage. It's all a set up stage program, an illusion, which Hollywood goes back to the Hollowwood, which goes back to the magicians, casting a spell upon the people, man.
That's right, brother.
It's all a setup, man. It's all an illusion, man.
And anybody that knows about it and they speak about it, what happens? They end up blacklisting them, and they end up either putting them to death or giving them a hard way to go, locking them
Demonizing
up,
them.
demonizing them.
Yeah.
Tim Russell, he had about, I don't know if it was 6 months later or 3 months later or a year, he died of a heart condition. He died of a heart attack, I believe. But the ironic thing was this: about 2 weeks ago, he went for a full test, and they said he had a clean bill of health.
See?
So 2 weeks before?
Something like that. Yep. Because we're going off of the top of our head. Basically, I'm gonna bring up the information, which we always do. We bring up the news, the clippings, and so forth. The facts. Not like other people. Not people that just take it out of the side of their black asses, man. Like Nate. The children of Israel, the 10 tribes went to the Americas in 538, 539 BC. Where's the facts?
Just the facts.
Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts. Anyway, I want you to read this here. This is, and we're jumping around, man. That's the way we roll through the spirit, just like the wind. All right, this is on Skull and Bone, right? Skull and Bones, right? Now I want you to go. We're gonna read the whole thing, but I want you to go right here to lore.
Okay, this is lore. One legend is that 322 is the emblem of the society, stands for founded in 32 second chords. Referring to a first chord is unknown German university. Others suggested that 322 refers to the death of Demosthenes, and that documents in the society's hall have purportedly been found dated to Anno Demosthenes. There is an ongoing rumor that there is some form whereby new members recite to the society their sexual history, and although there has been no corroboration of this by any reliable sources, the rumor lives on. But they show you that in that movie. Skulls. They show you how you lay in that tomb, butt naked, and you give all your sexual exploits. Because what they do with that is if you decide to turn on them, they'll use that against you. And they got all those different people there that's witnessing what you're telling them, so they got one up on you, so to speak.
And that's like their promise.
Right, to keep silence, you know, because they gotta have something on you. Because if you say something, then they
It's a trade-off.
Yep. It says members are assigned nicknames. Long Devil is assigned to the tallest member. Boaz goes to any member who is a varsity football captain.
Long Devil.
Long Devil, yeah.
It's a good name.
Yeah, good name.
Many of the chosen.
And let me say this, like for example, Bush, Daddy Bush, Bush Senior, his secretive name was Magog, right? Going back to the founder of the Illuminati, who was financed by the Rothschilds. That was Adam Weishaupt, and his secretive name was Spartacus. Which Spartacus was a Jake from the Roman Empire that tried to take down the Roman Empire. He led a band of slaves to take down the Roman Empire, but fell. Why did he fail? Because prophecy had to be fulfilled. Okay.
It says many of the chosen names are drawn from literature: Hamlet, Uncle Remus, from religion and from myth. The banker Louis Lapham passed on his nickname Sancho Panza to the political advisor Tex McCrary. Averill Harriman was Thor. Henry Luce.
Which that was supposed to be an Israelite.
Which Harriman, Brown's brothers Harriman, which we used to speak right in front of, right at Zuccotti Park. Okay, before Zuccotti Park became famous, we were there. All right, but anyway, that you had a tall black skyscraper. And it said Brown's brothers Harriman, and it was this guy.
Bush's grandfather.
Yeah, no, the guy that employed him.
Not Prescott. I know he.
George Herbert Walker.
Okay.
George Herbert Walker employed Prescott Bush, which was the grandfather or the granddaddy of Baby Bush. Which was the father of Senior Bush. And from how the history goes is that this guy was a tire salesman, and he married one of the daughters of what's this guy, George Herbert Walker. So I mean, when you marry somebody, you get lucky. You marry a woman, and her father happens to be, super rich. You're gonna make him. You ain't gonna have this guy being a bum with his daughter. So they set the guy up. Hey, the same thing happened with Joe Kennedy, man. Joe Kennedy came into prominence. He's one of the prominent families, the Kennedys, because he married. He was a bum, and he married somebody and became prominent through that, man. And that's what these devils do. And George Washington did the same thing, man.
Marrying the money.
Especially
all these devils are opportunists.
Right. Like the royal throne in England.
We'll speak on that.
Yeah, they intermarried. That's how the Edomites got up in there. Like case in point, Queen Victoria, she married basically a Edomite from Germany, and that's how you Edomites from Germany got up in and became known as the New Royal, so-called New Royal family, or the New Royal bloodline. As a matter of fact, I think it was July of 1901. There was a new royal proclamation made that those crackers that came from Germany that married it, through Queen Victoria, they became the new royalty over there in Great Britain, right from the Saxe-Coburg line.
And Saxe-Coburg goes back to Israel, man. Saxe comes from the word Isaac. And see, you Negroes, man, and hey, you guys in GMS, you bullshit artists, you lame brains in GMS. All right, I'm talking about you got brothers that are brothers that are diligent, man. Like the brothers standing right before you, man. All right, we got brothers from Texas and we got brothers from Atlanta, man. Now they wouldn't make a trip all the way out to New York to see us, just to say what's up. This is called a meeting of the minds, man. You know, and when them brothers go back, they're already diligent. But guess what? They're gonna have more fire in them, man.
Yeah.
You come here to get fire, man. We get fire off of y'all, man.
That's right.
Y'all don't realize that, man. When we watch your videos, we get fire. We get fire from y'all, man. That builds our fire up, and then you get fire built up from us, man. That's that. What you always say? We're living stones, man.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, lively stones. Yep.
There can't be no parrots, man.
That's right. That's right. And that's why I threw that test out there, man. You know, and there's gonna be more tests to come. Surprise tests.
It's probably gonna be like 6 months before brothers finish that Daniel 11.
But that's all right. That's all right. That wasn't the point. Wasn't to see how fast you can get the test. The point was to make you think and. I can't call nobody. I gotta figure this shit out, and that sharpens you. That builds you up, man.
And it builds your confidence.
And it builds you. That's the main thing that it does, man. Because guess what? We're supposed to be on the level to deal with any scholar on the planet Earth, man. I don't care if you've been in GMS for 6 months.
Right.
If you in GMS for 6 months, man, you're supposed to be on the level to deal with anybody that's a college graduate.
That's right.
That's right.
And specific things in history, man. You brothers are supposed to love history, man.
Right.
You brothers are supposed to watch period piece movies, man.
That's right. Be into
You
that.
know?
History Channel.
Like that movie that came out, The Kingdom of Heaven. We all got together, the whole camp, when we saw that movie, man.
What they call that? The high five, whatever they call it. We went to go see in the movies where they amplify the movie and then they came out with that.
Oh yeah.
3D?
Not 3D.
HD or whatever.
HD or whatever. Yeah.
IMAX?
IMAX. We went to see it in IMAX, man.
And you find out too, man, when you start digging in, they're easy to deal with. These people are easy to deal with. Man.
Well, they don't know nothing.
They don't care. They don't know a damn thing. Man.
Hey, we used to embarrass when we used to speak down the street. We used to embarrass these college professors that call themselves being historian. They used to walk and debate with us, and there was a point where they used to walk on the other. Oh, remember that professor? He's on the other side of the street. And that's back when we really didn't know anything, man.
Just a handful.
So if you mess with us now, man, you're gonna get some fire on you, man.
You might not walk away.
You might not walk away. It's in the spirit.
Spirit.
So you can get Luke 21:15. Yeah.
You finish that? You finish that?
There was just a couple more names.
Got it?
Okay.
You got it.
Hey,
You got
it's
it.
beautiful, man, because the Most High is bringing everything full circle, man. He's bringing all this knowledge out. He's basically destroying all witchcraft, man. We had a lousy, low-level witch, whatever the hell you want to call it, at the camp yesterday, trying to put sign, doing all this crazy.
And we were laughing at that thing, man.
It's a
Out
joke,
of
man.
nowhere.
Nigga woman, too.
Hey,
It's a joke.
Luke 21:15. It says, "For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist." That's clear to the point.
And real quick, get this scripture. I believe that's second Corinthians, the 10th chapter. Start from the very top, and then we're gonna move on.
2 Corinthians 10 chapter.
Yeah.
2 Corinthians chapter 10. Now I, Paul, myself beseech you by the meekness and gentleness of Yahushua, who in presence am base among you, but being absent am bold toward you. But I beseech you that I may not be bold when I am present, with that confidence wherewith I think to be bold against some, which think of us as if we walked according to the flesh. For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through the Most High, to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations, and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahushai, and having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is your obedience is fulfilled. Do ye look on things after the outward appearance? If any man trust to himself,
where's your fringes? Why you guys look like bumps?
Yeah.
That's what they look at, and that's why this clown Nate, which we constantly prove that he's a clown.
Yeah.
And he's got the Star Trek Enterprise zoot suits on, and that's why he's getting so many members. But he's getting a bunch of he's inheriting a bunch of zombies. Yeah. Those guys are zombies, man. Yeah. Like I was messing with one guy. Read the scripture, brother. And the Lord said,
parrots, a bunch of
and
parrots.
the Lord said, that's right, brother.
Bible goon.
Your Bible goon.
Yeah.
If any man trust to himself that he is Yahushai's, let him of himself think this again, that as he is Yahushai's, even so are we Yahushai's. For though I should boast somewhat more of our authority, which the Lord had given us for edification, and not for your destruction, I should not be ashamed, that I may not seem as if I would terrify you by letters, for his letters say they are weighty and powerful, but his bodily
that's
presence...
that test.
Yeah.
Do that test, brother.
But it's not to destroy you.
It's to build you.
It's for edification's sake. A lot of these guys, they talk shit about the elders. They talk shit about GMS.
But they talk shit about y'all too. They talk shit about all the GMS.
Yeah. But the information is coming out with that boldness and authority, man, because the Yahweh Shem Yahushua set this thing up. And we know it in our spirit.
So it doesn't just fall on one man, you know?
Right.
Like back in the days, you know, you had like Arya, you know, High Priest Arya, he was the head. You know, underneath Masha, he broke down a lot of revelations, and then
he was the main guy. He was the main guy that went into the Hebrew, went into the history, went into the. He didn't really go into the Greek that much, but he did touch on the Greek. But he mainly went into the Hebrew and he went into the prophecies. That was that man, you know. They all dealt with the scriptures, but when it came to these prophecies, which I took to Arya, so I teach kind of like Arya. I don't teach exactly like him, like Yahweh Sap.
Yeah.
You know, acting, you know, movements.
He wants to be like
he's a clone, you know.
Animated.
Yep. And me and Ariana used to get into a lot of debates with my teachers, man. I used to bring up stuff and they said, "Oh, here comes the hard," because they knew I was gonna work their brains, man. You know.
Yeah. Somebody put on one of our videos, I guess. I don't know, but they put who are these clowns? This guy sounds just like Taha. You know, because we all got the same
but you know what? But you know what? If you watch me and you know Arya, sometimes the Arya spirit come out in me and I'll say, that's Arya. That's Arya.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
or sometimes I'll feel myself speaking like Mo.
Yeah.
I'll say that's Mo. That's Mo. That's a spirit. So there's nothing wrong with that.
But that
don't be fake with it. Don't be fake with it,
man.
have
that.
I mean, they notice that because we speak the same bold truth.
If you train in a boxing gym, if you got a bunch of boxers training in a boxing gym under the same trainer, even though they're all gonna fight the same. They're all gonna fight pretty much the same. There's gonna be slight differences. Hey, but anyway, we're gonna close and we're gonna move on. Just hit the red button in the back. Go ahead, Art.
It's Malachi 4:5. It said, "Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. He shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and to the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse." It's talking about the emulation. Because obviously, you know, Elder Tahar and the rest of the brothers bringing out, you're going to talk like your elders, mimic, because you're a baby. So it's obvious, as any son to a father, you're going to mimic him, but you're going to have your own spirit as well. You know?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so we're here at, this is the Skull and Bones building. You know, you've heard many people talk about it. You know, we actually here, this is where a lot of the initiations go on, but the reason why you don't know is because, you know, they have it secret amongst a handful of men that come here, you know, 15 men a year. You know, so we have some information here to read up on it, some history, to give you like an idea of what goes on here. This is from Wikipedia. It says Skull and Bones is an undergraduate senior secret society at Yale University, New Haven, Connecticut. It is the oldest senior class landed society at Yale and is among the college's big three societies that include Scroll and Key Society and Wolf's Head Society. The Society Alumni Organization, which
Speak loud.
It says the Society's alumni organization, which owns the Society's real property and oversees the organization, is the Russell Trust Association, named for William Huntington Russell, which he's basically a Illuminati puppet anyway.
He's an opium dealer.
Yeah, he was.
Yep.
Said who
Matter of fact, it was the funds that came out of the opium trade that built this so-called Skull and Bones fraternity. The funds that came out of it. And they got a lot of these gooks. A lot of the Moabites were hooked on that opium. And that's where they got the money that funded this so-called society. So it really came out of drugs, opium.
It says, who co-founded Skull and Bones with classmate Alfonso Taft.
Which Alfonso Taft, his son William Howard Taft, became president of the United States. So it's all drugs.
Yep.
By the way, how did Esau make his money? By drugs and slavery.
Yep.
All right? He didn't make it righteously. He made it by drugs and slavery. And yet he has the nerve to look at Jake and point to them and say, you're the big-time drug dealer. No, the biggest drug dealer on the planet Earth is the so-called white man. It's in their history. It's in their legacy.
That's why they're in Afghanistan.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because of the opium.
That's right. And this is why we're here. The Skull and Bones going back to the opium trade.
That's right. You know, and they channeled all the slaves to what was known as the East India Company. You know, they gave up the ships.
Would show a flag, a picture of the flag. By the way, the East India Company, what was the gentleman's name that established it? He was the one that, he was the head of it at that time, and he's a founder of the Yale University. His last name is Yale.
Elihu.
Okay, Elihu Yale. He was the owner of the, one of the owners of the East India Company. By the way, if you look at their flag, when you get into maritime admiralty law and commercial law, when you sell things, you sell it on the high seas. You know, you export, import. So you had, each major company had major ships, and then you had your flagship, and the flag, like every system, every country, every sovereignty had their ships, their fleet of ships, and they would have their flag with a gold fringe around it, which goes into maritime admiralty law. That's why when you go into a bank, you go into a court, you see the so-called American flag, which is not the American flag, with a pretty gold fringe around it. And that's commercial, that goes into commercial law. And they make you represent, when you go to represent somebody, right, the UCC the brother mentioned, all right, Uniform Commercial Code, which is recognized throughout the whole planet Earth, all right? When you go before a judge, really not a judge, a magistrate, you go representing your what do you call it? Your straw man. That's why your name on any document is in all caps.
Nom de guerre.
Nom de guerre. Yep.
You're responsible for the slave trade.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
That gold fringe around the flag. Basically.
Go ahead and speak on it. Go ahead and come and speak on it, man. Speak loud, everybody.
Yeah, the Dutch East India Company and the Dutch West India Company, they're responsible for the slave trade.
Speak loud.
And they supplied the slave ships that came from West Africa here to the United States, so-called Americas and the Caribbean islands. The Dutch East India Company and the Dutch West India Company. You know, owned by the Yale, which he's a so-called Jew.
Yeah, which this place, this university, this so-called prestigious university is named after him. And I looked up the endowment of this university, and it's in one of them documents. I think it's $19 billion. That's the endowment, you know. That's why if you're a top entertainer or a CEO of a company, and your son attends this university, because you threw them some money.
Yeah. I was about to say, we basically all products. You mentioned flagship. With products, you have
I'll take your hat off.
It's like you have flagship models.
That's
everything
right.
With everything, a car, clothing, shoes, you always have a flagship model. So that flagship center, we're just products coming over here under this.
Right, we're products. We're simply products. Yeah. That's all we are.
Well, it tells you in Revelation that they Revelation 18 they sold all type of goods, even the souls of men.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, read that real quick.
If you know,
go right to that point and read around there.
UCC code. If you're real good at the UCC code, you can actually beat some cases in these local magistrates.
Yeah, UCC 1-.
Yeah, which we have done.
Yep.
Which we have done in
under protest. Yep. Reserve all rights.
Yeah.
All rights without prejudice.
Can I say something real quick? You said all men are products. That's the Social Security number. That's why you got, every one of us got a social security number. Esau, Jake, they even made Edomites into products. The low level, what we call them? The regular average Joe Edomite, they got a social security number. That's why they fought that civil war. Them Edomites in the South, they knew that the elite bankers were trying to enslave them as well. When they did that, and then after that civil war, when they started coming into setting up this country of unifying their so-called union, they made it where you got a social security number. That's your tag, man, showing that you're own.
And that came about sometime after or around 1933 by the president at that time, FDR.
Yeah, FDR.
And it all started with the Federal Reserve System, which you have now. You have a Federal Reserve Bank, so everything ties into one.
Yeah.
Are you watching, Nate?
Yeah.
So you can learn something.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, come on in.
That's why going to the microchip. That's why they want to implant microchips into every so-called U.S. citizen, because you're nothing but a product to them. So just like you go to the store and you scan a product to buy it, they want to put a microchip in you, and so they can scan you because you're nothing.
Yeah, UPC, the Universal Product Code. So now you're part of the UPC, Universal Product Code. You're just a product, and that's why Nate and Degenerate Johanna and Zabak and the rest of those idiots are saying the mark of the beast is not the chip. Don't listen to those guys, because they're trying to deceive as many Israelites as they can.
The only chip I'm getting is the potato chip.
Yeah. Well, he's a clown. He's a clown. He can't even go out in the winter. But anyway, let's get in order.
Revelation chapter 18 and 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. The merchandise of gold and silver, and precious stones, and of pearls, and of fine linen, and purple, and silk, and scarlet, and all thine wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil. That's America. And fine flour, and wheat, and beasts,
great merchant
sheep,
city,
and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men.
Souls of men.
So they put you on a product. The Bible already put you on a product list.
Yeah.
The Lord is letting you know.
That sounds like a manifest from a ship.
Yeah,
This ship is laden with such and such. Slaves. It got cocoa. It got all these different coconuts and all that. You're part of the product list.
That's right.
Well, it says souls of men. So what's the final act of capturing your soul? The chip. When they put that chip in you, we got your soul.
Yeah, like why did they differentiate slaves and then souls of men?
Souls of men. They want your soul.
That's
the elites,
right.
the elite banking families, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, who sponsored this shit, by the way, they want your soul. You Jakes, you Israelites, they want your soul. It's not enough just to have you as a slave. They want your soul, your mind, your whole mind.
And like Anthony Hilder would always say, they want it all.
Yeah, they want it all.
And
I got something for you.
Go ahead.
Now, this is from this book.
Hold on, brother. We'll get to you in a minute.
Okay, this is from this book called The World's Last Dictator by Dwight L. Kinman.
I want you to read on the Skull and Bones from the beginning too.
And this is
wrap it up.
Yep, this is on the Skull and Bones Society of Yale University, which we happen to be. It says Anthony Sutton, a teaching fellow, and you brothers can Google Anthony Sutton. He's very knowledgeable on the subject. He's dead, but his past works.
The Rise of Hitler.
Right, you can mention that.
But his works live on.
Yeah,
his works live on.
That's most important.
Wall Street and the Rise of Hitler, and Wall Street, I believe, in the Bolshevik Revolution or something like that.
Yep.
So he wrote a lot of different things that exposed a lot of the stuff that they were doing behind the scenes, Illuminati.
And you're not going to get this stuff watching Nate and Degenerate Johanna and Zabak and Bubble Eye Blackfish.
Yep.
Reading on, it says...
We don't even talk about him. He's a persona non grata.
Anthony Sutton, a teaching fellow at Stanford University, wrote the book America's Secret Establishment, an introduction to the Order of the Skull and Bones. The Skull and Bones Society is centered at Yale University. Each year, 15 graduates are chosen and inducted into the society. They lie in a coffin. By the way, this coffin is right here in this building, which we're at. They lie in a coffin. They drink blood from a human skull surrounded by Nazi swastikas. By the way, I think it was Geronimo. Geronimo family. They sued the Skull and Bones Society for having the skull of Geronimo located on their, premise.
The Apache tribe, which is skull in this building, man.
It says the eternal sign of Babylonian sun god. Then they rise as reborn man gods. I will summarize the 280-page book in one sentence. We are going to use the Hegelian dialectic process.
Speak loud. Read loud.
We are going to use the Hegelian dialectic process to bring about a society in which the state is in absolute and total powerful control. I'll read that again. It says we are going to use the Hegelian dialectic process to bring about a society, the Hegelian dialectic process to bring about a society in which the state is in absolute and total powerful control. I'll read that again. It says we are going to use the Hegelian dialectic process to bring about a society. The Hegelian dialectic process is pressure from above and pressure from below. In other words, chaos, then control. You bring the chaos, which
problem,
leads to control.
reaction, solution.
Exactly. We are going to use the Hegelian dialectic process to bring about a society in which the state is in absolute, total, powerful control.
Example, the Boston Marathon bombing.
Exactly.
9/11.
Oklahoma bombing.
Oklahoma bombing.
Yep.
Pearl Harbor, the attack of the Japanese.
That's right.
Occupy Wall Street.
Occupy Wall Street.
That's right. Reading on, it says a new world order where the state is absolute and the individual can only find freedom in
It's
blind.
$10 to
$10
be a part of the tour.
Yeah.
So get your money out.
No free admission.
Get your this. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? No, I'm messing with you. Go ahead.
That's all right. No, you guys do your thing. I can bring
What is this called?
This is Skull and Bones.
Thank you. Okay.
This is Skull and Bones. Allegedly where Geronimo's $10.
Thank you. Okay, hold up. Give it $10. All right.
Yeah.
You know, Bush and Kerry were members. You know that they drunk blood out of a skull.
Oh, did they?
They slept in the coffin.
Was that in the movie Skull? No.
No.
All right.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Prescott S. Bush dug up Geronimo's
I know.
bones.
I'm here to collect.
Okay. Okay. Good.
I represent the Apache
Are you
tribe.
one of the people who come out here and draw and chalk, give it back?
No.
Oh no, not us.
That's not us.
That's not us.
All right. Did you know this was built in 1956 by Henry Austin?
I didn't know that, but thank you. Yale University. Who was that named after?
Yale? Elao.
Okay, what company did he own?
Ooh, I don't know this one.
East India, British East India. Eat that. Eat that.
Eat that.
All right, you guys.
Take care. Have a good day. Hey, she knows her stuff.
You gotta listen to her.
She just needs help.
Yeah. She just needs a little help.
She just needs a little push.
Let me finish reading. It says we're going to use the Hegelian dialectic process to bring about a society in which the state is in absolute and total powerful control. A new world order where the state is absolute and the individual can only find freedom in blind obedience to the state. So basically, to sum this all up, that's what this is all about. This is why they meet in secret, to keep that power going, to bring about their so-called New World Order, which the so-called New World Order is about bringing everybody into slavery. Everybody that's not an elite or members of the elite rich banking family. All right?
So with that, we're going to have you read the rest of that, and then we're going to close up.
All right.
Because we can be out here all for the next 3 weeks.
It says the Society Alumni Organization, which owns the Society's real property and oversees the organization, is Russell Trust Association, named for William Huntington Russell, who co-founded Skull and Bones with classmate Alphonso Taft. The Russell Trust was founded by Russell and Daniel Goit Gilman, member of Skull and Bones and later president of University of California, first president of Johns Hopkins University, and the founding president of the Carnegie Institution. The society is known informally as Bones, and members are known as Bonesmen. History. Skull and Bones was founded in 1832 after a dispute among Yale's debating societies, Linonia, Brothers in Unity, and the Calliopean Society over the season's Phi Beta Kappa Awards. Its original name was the Order of the Skull and Bones. The first extended description of Skull and Bones, published in 1871 by Lyman Bagg in his book 4 Years at Yale, noted that the mystery now attending its existence forms the one great enigma which college gossip never tires of discussing. Brooks Mather Kelly attributed the interest in the Yale senior societies to the fact that underclassmen members of then freshman, sophomore, and junior class societies returned to campus the following years and could share information about society rituals, while graduating seniors were, with their knowledge of such, at least a step removed from campus life. Skull and Bones selected new members every spring as part of Yale University's TAP Day, and has done so since 1879. Since co-education of the society in the early 1990s, Skull and Bones selects 15 men and women of the junior class to join the society. Skull and Bones taps those that it views as campus leaders and other notable figures for its membership. You know, so basically that's what it is. You know, it's a secret society, so there's certain information that's not going to come out unless somebody from the inside leaks it out. You know, which
like one of them is Anthony Sutton.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. John Todd was another.
John Todd. They killed him.
You know,
they were both killed.
And, and that's a part of prophecy, because the scripture says that they shall cause their mouth to fall upon themselves. So basically,
sign of their downfall.
Right. So from within, they're going to tell what's going on the inside.
And that's the scripture too. They shall cause their tongues to fall upon themselves.
That's right.
Also, the book of Obadiah 1 and 6. How are the things of Esau searched out?
That's right.
You know, so this is all coming out.
That's right.
Isaiah 29 and 15. Warn to them that seek the deep,
You had a scripture.
to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us?
Yeah.
That's it.
That's
That's it. So with that, we're going to close and we're going to say shalom.
Shalom.
Hold on.